According to publicly available lottery revenue data, Americans collectively spend tens of billions of dollars on lottery tickets each year, with per capita spending in many states running into hundreds of dollars annually. That same amount, deployed across 7 specific financial moves, each costing under $100, has been documented to generate returns for the rest of a person's life. The lottery's average documented payout rate means players receive back roughly 50 to 60 cents for every dollar spent, a significant and consistent negative return by any financial measure. Each of these 7 moves carries a documented potential to reduce costs, increase returns, or prevent losses, with some, like low-cost index investing, showing historical long-term growth that significantly outpaces inflation. And almost no one is doing them. By the end of this, you may find yourself asking why low-cost, high-impact financial moves like these aren't discussed more often, especially compared to the products most heavily marketed to everyday consumers. And the most unsettling part involves a $20 personal finance book, one that has sold millions of copies and reshaped how readers think about wealth-building behavior. The first move is the one the financial industry finds most inconvenient: a fractional share investment available on documented platforms for as little as $1 in a broad market index fund. John Bogle, the founder of Vanguard, demonstrated through decades of documented data that research consistently shows that the large majority of actively managed funds, often cited at over 80 to 90% depending on asset class and time horizon, fail to outperform a simple index fund over 15-year periods. According to independent analysis including S&P's SPIVA reports, his research, published and peer-reviewed, showed that low-cost index investing, now accessible for under $10, outperforms the vast majority of professional fund managers. The money never stops compounding. That's the mechanism. Once deployed, it works whether you watch it or not. But here's where it gets interesting. The second move costs $20, a single personal finance book, specifically one with documented mass market impact. The Millionaire Next Door, published in 1996, surveyed over 1,000 American millionaires and found that 80% of them were first-generation wealthy. They didn't inherit it. They changed their behavior based on information. A documented $20 investment in behavioral financial literacy has a return that is statistically incalculable. You cannot spend the knowledge back down to zero. Move 3 is a credit report audit. Free under federal law, the Fair Credit Reporting Act mandates 1 free report per bureau per year. A landmark study, frequently cited by consumer protection agencies including the FTC and CFPB, found that roughly 1 in 5 Americans has a verifiable error on at least one of their credit reports. Errors that cost them thousands in elevated interest rates annually. Identifying and disputing a single error can reduce borrowing costs by hundreds of dollars every year, compounding silently for decades. The move costs nothing but time. Move 4 is where most people stop listening and where the data gets uncomfortable. A $50 investment in a health savings account contribution, if eligible under a high-deductible health plan, generates a documented triple tax advantage. Contributions go in pre-tax. Growth is tax-free. Withdrawals for qualified expenses are tax-free. The HSA's triple tax advantage is an explicit provision of the U.S. tax code, one that has remained intact since HSAs were established in 2003. Fidelity's regularly updated research estimates that the average retired couple may need approximately $300,000 or more to cover healthcare costs in retirement, a figure that has grown steadily over time. An HSA, started early, is one of the only instruments that directly addresses that specific liability. Remember what I said at the start about the move that made more millionaires per capita than hedge fund products? Move 5 is a $97 annual fee for a business credit card, one with documented cashback or point structures on categories you already spend in. The documented arbitrage here isn't the points themselves. It's the forced categorization of spending. Behavioral research suggests that when spending is categorized and reviewed on a separate statement, consumers tend to develop greater awareness of discretionary purchases, though the magnitude of this effect varies across studies, simply because the statement arrives separately and demands review. The card pays you in behavior change, not just rewards. Move 6 costs under $30. A will. Online legal document platforms now offer basic wills for documented fees under that threshold. Surveys consistently find that a substantial majority of American adults, often estimated at over 60%, have no will in place, leaving their estates potentially subject to costly and time-consuming probate proceedings. Assets without a will enter probate. Probate costs vary significantly by state and estate complexity, but legal and administrative fees commonly cited in estate planning literature can consume a meaningful percentage of an estate's total value. A $30 document can protect everything you've built. And Move 7 is the one that started this entire investigation. An automated savings redirect, $1 per day, $30 per month, into a high-yield savings account. Documented rates in competitive markets have reached between 4 and 5% annually in recent cycles. Behavioral research, including work from academic institutions studying financial decision-making, consistently shows that automating savings significantly reduces the psychological barriers that prevent consistent saving behavior. The decision is made once, the compounding begins immediately, and it never stops. So we return to where we started. $1,497 spent on lottery tickets, on documented negative returns, against 7 moves, some free, none over $100, that the mathematics show compound for a lifetime. The lottery is heavily marketed. These 7 moves are not. That asymmetry alone should make you deeply uncomfortable. The question worth sitting with is this: if the information was always this accessible, this documented, this affordable, what exactly have the last 10 years of your financial life actually been spent waiting for?